I was 75, the winter I thought the cold in Hatton, North Dakota, might finally finish what time started. Then I saw something move in the snow outside my window. It was -31. The wind was folding the fields into white hills, and I was counting what I had left. A few sticks of firewood, some potatoes, a couple of cans. Enough for me, maybe. Out by the fence, in all that white, something twitched. At first I thought it was just a drift shifting in the wind. Then I saw eyes. 2 dark spots in the snow, staring back at me. She was a white German Shepherd mixed puppy, maybe 5 months old, half buried in the drift. If she hadn't blinked, I would have missed her. No collar I could see. No movement except the rise and fall of her chest, thin and shaky. My first thought was simple. If I went out there in that cold and fell, nobody was coming for me. My second thought was worse. If I didn't, nobody was coming for her either. You don't really debate those things, not when you're looking into eyes like that. I grabbed my thickest blanket, pulled on my old coat, and stepped into the storm. The wind cut straight through me. By the time I reached her, my hands were numb and my knees were arguing with every step. She didn't fight when I picked her up. She just made a small sound, half whimper, half sigh, and went limp in my arms. Inside, I laid her down by the stove and wrapped her tight. The fire was already low, but I fed it the best pieces of wood I had left. The room warmed slowly. So did she. I warmed a little broth, broke up a potato, and held the bowl near her nose. For a moment, nothing. Then her tongue flicked out, and suddenly she was drinking like she'd never stop. Easy, little one, I told her. We're not in a hurry anymore. That night, I burned more than I should have. Old scraps, a broken chair, anything that would catch. Every time the fire dipped, she started to shiver again. I wasn't going to sit there and watch that. Sometime in the dark, I fell asleep in my chair by the stove. When I woke up, my feet were warm. She was curled around them, using what little heat she had left on me. I called her Pearl the next day. White as the snow that almost took her, small as something you'd keep in your hand and somehow still hear, the storm didn't stop. Day after day, the world outside stayed buried. Inside, the woodpile shrank to almost nothing. The food shelves looked the same. When the last decent log was gone, the fire finally died. I sat there in the quiet, watching my breath in the air, feeling that heavy, dangerous tiredness settle into my bones. Pearl watched me, ears up like she knew something was wrong. She nudged my hand, whining low. When I didn't move, she jumped up, paws on my knees, licking my face like she was trying to pull me back. Then she ran to the door, scratching and barking not to get out and leave, but like she was insisting I follow. I opened the door a crack. She slipped through and headed around the side of the house. I cursed under my breath and went after her. She led me to the old shed half buried in snow. I hadn't opened it in years. Pearl dug at the drift, then pawed at the door, whining, glancing back at me. With her clearing what she could and me leaning my shoulder into the wood, we got it open. Inside were old fence posts, broken boards, scraps of lumber I'd forgotten, not much to look at, but they'd burn. We dragged what we could back to the house, her with small pieces in her mouth, me with an armful at a time. Soon the stove glowed again, the room softening around the edges. My hands thawed. So did whatever hope I had left. When the sky finally cleared and the plows reached our road, a neighbor stopped by. He saw Pearl sleeping by the stove and raised his eyebrows. "We can take the pup to a shelter in town," he said. "Find her a proper home once the weather settles." I looked at Pearl, at the dog who'd shared my last meal, warmed my feet, and dragged me back from the edge of giving up. The door to the outside stood open behind him, the air bright and cold. Pearl walked over, sniffed at the open doorway, then turned her back on it, and came straight to me. She leaned her weight against my leg and sighed, like she'd made her choice. "Thanks," I told the neighbor, "but I think she's already home." People say survival is about being strong, maybe about not leaving each other alone in the storm. Just one old man in a small house in North Dakota and one little white puppy in the snow, deciding that if they were going to make it, they were going to make it together.